All right, we're at Shelby American today, and we're talking to Gary Patterson, who's the vice president here. And Gary, you've been here for how many years?
About 18.
And you've pretty much done everything from the mail to putting motors in cars and driving them on the tracks, haven't you?
And sweeping the floor.
Absolutely. At one point, Shelby was, when it struggled, was down to like 10 employees, wasn't it?
Yeah, really, it started from just about zero because, Carol had largely closed that division of the business, and we rebirthed it back in the mid-90s.
And you ended up, the car that sort of brought it back to life was which car? You took to Ford, I think.
Well, yeah, we took a 2005 Mustang.
Yes.
And we gave them a little Shelby magic. We showed them what the car could be.
Right.
And so that kind of, one thing led to another, and a rental company, and then that got everybody's attention, and it became on the cover of magazines, and they said, we don't want to rent it, we want to own it.
And at that point, you were building 500 cars a year, and now you're up to like 100 employees.
Yeah, we'd gone way up and down and this and that. Right now, we're about 100 employees, and we build, 300 or 400 cars a year.
And it's obvious as we walk around the facility, we're up in the showroom here right now, but we've been back in the shop. The passion, you live this, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me why you were so passionate about this company and what you're doing.
Well, I'm real passionate about cars because from the time I was about this big, I loved racing, from tricycles up. So,
right.
And so, my father was an engineer and a car guy and all those kind of things. So I got a lot of that honestly through him.
Sure.
But I love Carroll Shelby because he was the guy in the mid-'60s that went out and David and Goliath. He took Ferrari down, won the World Manufacturers Championship. So here's a guy that's racing cars, which is my passion, and he's a winner. And I want to be with a winner.
Absolutely. And you actually, when you guys started building these cars, when you were with the company, they were bringing in some professional drivers to drive the cars, show them to customers, but one day you got an opportunity to drive the car. Tell me about that.
Well, it was great because the pros would come out and drive, and I'd had quite a bit of experience driving, but purely from an amateur standpoint.
Sure.
And, I've got a pretty good feel for it, and I was actually very competitive against the pros, which surprised a lot of people. So we'll leave it that way. But it really, it catapulted me into being able to test drive and evaluate cars and share the designs that we do today. So, but it's really been a team effort, and I really want to emphasize that.
Of course.
And how the team works together. It's not about any one person. It's about the team that Shelby puts together. And Carroll Shelby did great things as a driver. He accomplished tremendously more with a team of people that went out and took out the likes of Enzo Ferrari.
Well, and that's one of the things that when we were talking about this interview, we were talking about a message for the next generation. These kids that want to be in performance.
Right.
And so the team aspect is something that maybe we ought to talk about a little bit. And what would you recommend to these kids that want to be passionate, they want to do performance stuff? What's your advice to them as somebody that's been successful with Shelby?
My advice would be to learn all you can, okay, and live it. Find the schools, find the companies, find the people that are doing it. Don't worry about the money. That'll come later. Worry about knowledge and experience. Because when you gain those two things, then you're going to be valuable to somebody else down the road. So associate with those guys, those people that are out there doing what it is you want to do.
And do whatever job needs to be done. If the floor needs to be swept,
absolutely.
If the mail needs to go, do
absolutely.
that, and then work on the car when they need you to work on the car.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what makes a successful team.
That's exactly right. It's what is it going to take to get the job done? Let's